what you desire and what you actually acquire. And that gap to me is a gap that is answered in 5 words. Number 1, it must be answered by decision. Number 2, it must be answered by determination. Number 3, it must be answered by diligence. Number 4, it must be answered by consistency. Number 5, you must have a no compromise attitude. I repeat, and I'll be laying this foundation to rest here. There are 5 things that for me would construct the bridge, the building blocks of the bridge between your dream and your reality. What makes Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego chosen above other people? Recently, for example, I was listening a few weeks ago to an interview by one of our radio station proprietors and the coach of the under-20 Gambian team. And they was asking a question, why is it that one player did not go as good as he was? And he said the player had had an injury and he said he was fine, but during the training sessions, the doctors, the physiotherapists, they noticed that he couldn't clock the required time. He was panting, he was breathless, he was potentially positionally good. He was even good before. But in terms of bridging to cross over to making the team to South Africa, he couldn't, and because of that he was dropped. He was not dropped because he's not liked. He was not dropped because on a tribal, religious, color, nepotistic favoritism. No, he did not meet the requirements. So the bridge must be built with decision making, determination, diligence, consistency, and you must have a no compromise disposition. And I feel that if these 5 things are present, then it's possible for a potential to spring into a reality, for something that's positional to become a practical fact and a reality, a palpable, felt thing. Something that looks like a possibility will now become true, and of course something that is a dream will not be a dream anymore. That means that in the life of Daniel and his 3 friends, they were decided. The scripture we read in Daniel chapter 1 verse 8 said Daniel purposed in his heart. He decided and he was determined, and they followed through with diligence. He said, give me 10 days, feed us on vegetables or pulse, beans, lentils, and water. But there's going to be a consistency. I believe, even though unwritten in the scriptures, that they were not just eating food and sleeping. I believe there was exercise. I believe they also had a disciplined regime, a disciplined lifestyle, which toned their bodies, which made them fit for the service. And ladies and gentlemen, the joy of this is that the end point is that Daniel actually became the prime minister in Babylon. Now listen to this. Here you were, you started as a refugee young boy, and you become the prime minister. And because of his position, his other 3 friends rose to the top also. All because he made some decisions which affected his future. And the decisions affected his future in a radical way that it's like telling me that, for lack of a better phrase, it's like saying an Israeli becomes the prime minister of Iraq or Iran, or an Iranian becomes the vice president of the United States of America. In other words, it was a far-fetched thing for a Hebrew boy, a Hebrew young man, taken into captivity but with his nation, to rise up to the 2nd position in a foreign land, a land of his own. Ladies and gentlemen, with determination, decision-making, diligence, consistency, and a no-compromise attitude towards actualizing your dream, there is no telling what you can do. And let me add my final point. When you now add Jesus Christ and God, and you add that extra bit, you now are able to say what somebody said in the Bible: I can do all things through Christ who gives me the strength. Our time is up for this first segment. We shall continue by the grace of God next week. And let me say that until I come your way next week, this is Pastor Philip saying, have a good evening, God bless us all. Good night. But remember, make a decision, be determined about it, follow through with diligence, due diligence, be consistent in it. Don't pick it and drop it. And finally, have a no compromise attitude towards yourself. And you will win, and we shall meet at the top. Have a good evening, and God bless you.
Yes, sir, you know what I'm talking about. Every day me I play lëmbal fan ci biir Duplex Gambia Friday loolu nag gars yi dina mel ni sonkorong ga ca Banjul waxoon naa leen ko saa yu ñëwee biir Gambia dafay saf sàpp dafay neex kon gars yi bu kenn raté dara na gars yi xaar ma teel a xaar biir Gambia xale yi sañse biir Duplex nag buñ ko waxee mooy boîte bi nga xam ne moo xew ci jamono moom la xale yi bëgg kon gars yi teel leen ma faa fekk ndax li bagage yi ma indi ak cassette bu bees bi foofu laa koy tëgg. Gars yi nag $100 before one, 150 after one, $100 before one, 150 after one. You know what I'm talking about? Waaye Gambie may xool waaw waa gars yi suñu maam Amérique yi laa bëgg ñu dajeeg ñoom biir Duplex ku nekk na nga ñëw ñu àndandoo woy suñu maam ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekk Amérique ci biir Duplex gars yi bu kenn raté à suivre.
ki ngeen di gis ni mooy suma jëkkër moom nag Vega Celestine Pasta rek la taamu suma doom bu jigéen bii nag moom waxu dara lu dul li nga xam ne ni mooy Vega Rotini Pasta suma doom bu góor bi nag moom spaghetti Vega rek moom la bugga moo tax nag fu ma munti tollu suma biir kër li nga xam ne ni mooy Vega Pasta rek laa faa jëfandikoo. jëndal leen tey Vega Pasta yi ndax seen kër jàmm rek moo faa nekk ak Vega Pasta kër gu neex.
Leadership is a contract. People vote for you because they expect you to stand for them and improve their living conditions. How can I satisfy every Gambian? Left to me alone, if I had the power to make sure that no Gambian becomes sick or goes hungry or is poor, I would have given it to every Gambian, irrespective of whether they like me or not. That's my wish for the Gambian.